How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Benji's Logs and Whatnots 2.0. I am Benji. As you guys would have seen a moment ago, it is pretty much a wet and miserable day thus far. It's probably going to be the same as tomorrow. We thought we'd come down and melt down some more candles to make another decent sized one. And we're pretty darn stoked to say that it hasn't leaked yet. No, I don't think it will leak because it does look like it is starting to, as you would say, cure, which is a good thing for us. But we're pretty damn stoked, to say the least. We had about 5 or 6 small candles that we've burnt through thus far up in the house, and we've basically used those. We've still got like a little bit left, not enough to make, as you would say, another candle. As you guys can see in the tip of the candle right now, it's pretty much cured up pretty quickly, and now the rest has to cure to make sure that it can come out later on down the track. And not only that, we did have that on a low setting as well, so I think that has helped, and that is a lesson that we've learned from the first time. Don't have it on full bloody crank. So this will be number 4 on the candles that we've made. One is hoping that it doesn't, as you would say, hollow out like the last lot, but because we've had it on low temperature, it should hopefully be alright. We do have a little bit left in the jug, so if it does need, as you'd say, a top up, then we can at least crank this back on and pour the remainder of the candle wax, paraffin wax, into said things. But the temperature is pretty cool, so it should cure in the next hour or so. So what we're going to do is we're just going to let that do what it needs to do. Go back up to the house, because we did have 2 set up for 2 candles, but I think we're going to only make the 1 today. Which reminds me, I want to try and go and cut the bases of the other ones up there, which is going to be interesting to say the least. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that sit for the next couple of hours, because there's not much else we can do with it. We don't want to make another one because we've only got like a little bit left, and it's only probably going to make pretty much the tip of the candle. So we're going to leave that for a couple of hours, go do some other things, and then we'll come down at about 2 o'clock. It's about 12 now, so that'll give it a couple of hours to, as you would say, cure. And then at least then we can see whether or not it needs extra wax, paraffin in said mold. Just found out, guys, there is a hot jam donut van in town. It's pretty much right next to the SES building. We thought we'd go down and grab a handful of donuts. 6 hot jam donuts and 1 custard. Gonna have potentially 1, maybe 2. We'll see how we go. Not gonna pick out too boldly on said donuts. Look at that. Bada bing, bada boom. That's certainly gonna spike the damn sugar, that's for sure. Especially with all that bloody sugar on the outside. I tell you what, that is like bloody loose sugar. Now that we've had our fill of donuts, total of 2, I'm gonna check our blood sugar in about an hour's time, so about 1:30 we'll check it. But while we wait, may as well come and check on how that candle is going, whether or not it is halfway cured or whatever. So we'll go and quickly check, and everything else in between. Well, that didn't take too long, and just as I thought, it has, as you would say, hollowed out a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to heat that back up and basically pour it into there, and hope for the best that it doesn't hollow itself out again. Just like that, it is topped up. That shouldn't take too long to cure, and as you can tell, it does look quite brightly white, which is exactly what we want. We did have this on the lowest setting, which is something that we learned from the first time of having it cranked all the way up. As you guys would have seen with the other stuff, it did end up burning just a wee bit, plus the other crap that we had in there. With the ones that we burnt melted down, we ended up just cutting the burnt segments of the candles off so that it didn't leave that black stuff there. But that should be pretty much right to go now. I can tell you right now, it is starting to cure just a wee bit. You probably can't really tell, but that is starting to cure quite nicely. So hopefully that won't need any more stuff. I can't believe on how entertaining making candles is, especially from recycled ones. It is good fun. I reckon I'll go and get myself some more of those shorter candle molds, and more of the wicks and everything else in between, for a very simple fact: the more that we can try and make, the happier we will be. Now that we've been about an hour since we've had the donuts, it is time to check the blood sugar. I should check what it was like this morning. 8.1 this morning. That was about 9 o'clock this morning. It is now 1:30, so gotta make sure that things are triggered. And actually, well, there we go. Just gotta get enough of a droplet going. Sometimes it takes a little while for us to get a single bloody droplet out. There we go. Now that should only take a couple of seconds for us to find out how much of an 10.6. So it's really gone up 2.5. So that's not bad, not the greatest. So I know for a fact it will come down a little bit later on today. Usually by about dinner time it usually gets back down to about 7.9. So yeah, it is looking good as always. And quite a few more hours since we've done our blood sugar. I reckon this candle is well and truly cooled down enough. I'm literally just took the little bracket off the top. I can tell you right now, it feels like it's relatively loose. And I can tell you right now, it feels like it will come out any second now. I just need to give it a little assistance. Just like that, another little candle is made. That looks like a sexy little candle, to be honest. And I honestly feel like I don't need to do much on the base of this, except for cut that off. So we're going to give this a bit of a standing test to see how it looks. I tell you what, that does look quite sexy. Honestly, that looks quite nice. Even though there is still a little cavity within the base of this, I'm not going to worry too much. I'll probably only get it down to about there, and then I'll basically stop it, and then I'll remelt basically the base of this. But I'm pretty damn satisfied with that, to say the least. Well, either way, I'm pretty bloody stoked that I've got another one. But I am going to have to let this one cure for about 5 days. I can't exactly go heave-hoing and using that just yet. Mind you, I still do have the other 3 that we made the first time, where I got up here. I do apologise for that, guys. I do have a light in my face at the moment, so that does make it a bit hard for me to see where I'm going. But either way, I'm pretty darn stoked about that candle either way, knowing what we know now about lower temperatures and everything else in between to basically let it cure a lot quicker. So we're on the very next day, guys, and I couldn't exactly help myself. Back down in the shed, and we've got 3 more set up, but we're going to try and pour 2 more candles at least. We've got the other ones set up to do for a later time, but we're going to try and do 2 more today and basically see how we go. We also wanted to go out into the yard and try and cut up a stump to try and get some extra firewood for the fire pit out there, because yeah, as you guys know, firewood is quite expensive at the moment, so we don't want to try and get $30 or $40 bloody bags at 25 kilos each, because knowing me, I will burn through it pretty darn quick. So if we can try and burn the stuff that we got here, beautiful. But for now, we're going to be making 2 more candles. Looks like we might just have enough just for 1, but that's alright. If we have just enough for 1, then that's all that matters. So as per the usual, we're going to give this a bit of a whirl, see if it leaks. If it doesn't, we're going to keep it as is. Usually, as I said, give it about a minute to make sure that it doesn't leak, and if it doesn't leak, we'll add the rest to the thing without hopefully burning the stuff here, which I don't think we will, so which is good. But so far it looks like it's doing alright. Again, just like to give it that little extra time to settle down and basically see if it leaks, but so far it looks like it's doing alright. Looks like it's already starting to solidify in the very tip, which is good. I reckon we could probably try and pour the rest of this into there. Very shaky bloody hands. Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've got enough to do 3. But we do have some more stuff up there that we can basically, as you would say, cut off if we decide to do some more. But I reckon because these do like to hollow out when we, as you would say, let them cool, let them solidify. So I reckon we'll keep the rest of that up in there to basically fill out the rest. So while that is doing that, cooling down, solidifying and everything else in between, I reckon we can go down the back and show you guys this bloody stump that we've been wanting to get rid of. I do have a little itsy bitsy type chainsaw, but I don't know if that'll really do anything for us. That's good for like little limbs and branches and shit, but nothing to the extent of what we want. Now this right here is the bad boy that we want to try and cut up. So what we want to try and do is get the chainsaw and go smack bang right down the middle of there, right down the middle of there, and then come along and just cut through there like that. So cut there, cut there, cut there, and hopefully we'll get 4 little decent logs out of that. And then once we get down to sort of more the base, it's going to be a little bit more, as you would say, awkward, but should be alright, I think. We'll do the same for that one there, cut it in 4 and come along and just cut along like that. But again, that little 13-inch chainsaw is potentially not going to be able to cut through this because it is quite a thick bloody thing, to say the least. To be absolutely honest, I think that is the best we can do. I don't think we'd be able to cut any further down because it's going to start getting real grippy real quick. So that's alright. I'm pretty stoked with that either way, because we still got a couple of logs out of that, or pieces of wood that we can burn later down the track within about a month or so of this date. This right here is what we pulled. There's at least a dozen pieces there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, yeah, about 18 pieces of wood in total. That one right there is a root. That's not part of the tree, but we're pretty damn stoked that we got an extra few pieces of wood. We do have stuff that we had from last year, stuff that we've had drying, and a whole heap of stuff that's rotten from a pile of stuff that Mum and Dad got. So this is pretty much my little go once the fire season is open. And I'm also pretty sure that this didn't basically hollow out. Look at that. Beautiful. I'll have to give this a little tug, because I'm pretty sure that it is pretty much right to go. It's pretty cool to touch, so I dare say that they're probably almost ready to come out. Probably should leave it for 24 hours, but the last one came out pretty easily, so we'll see if this one does. If not, I'll have to leave it in there until tomorrow. I just gave it a little bit of a love tap onto the edge of the bench. You guys probably can't hear that. You can just barely hear it, buddy. Tap, 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 tap. Inside the very container. I'll give it a little bit of a push there. Nope, nothing there. Okay, so let's have a bit more of a look. Most of them does look like they've let go. There we go. So it wants to come out. Slight stickiness though. I think. Have a look here. Yeah, that's probably going to be half the reason why. A little bit of, actually I probably shouldn't be using that. Hear that? Popping noise? That's because some person, there we go, has a car that is uniquely loud. There it is. Another candle. Does look a little dirty on the top of the candle. And there is some specks of dirt and whatever else in there, but that's fine. I'm going to be the only one that uses these at this point. Unfortunately, a little bug has decided to get stuck inside right there. Sounds like bloody fireworks. All I can say is Dick Heteris. And as always, have a bit of a gander at how it looks. So it does have a slight lean that way. So there is a slight lean, but that I don't think is going to be too much of a problem, to be honest. You can sort of see on the tip that slight angle. But anyway, I'm pretty stoked that this one came out perfectly fine as well. I'm going to take this upstairs and let this one cure alongside. But I'm pretty happy with how this weekend has turned out. We've pretty much done what we wanted to do. We got some more firewood. We built a couple more candles, and we've learnt with the candle making what not to do and what to do. Lower temperatures and everything else in between works best for said things, and that's exactly how we're going to be doing it from now on in, using only just enough to melt down and basically, as you would say, solidify a little quicker than what they have been. Just checking if Mr. Possumopodus was having his head peeking out like he did a couple of videos back, but definitely in there. Still not time for him to come out yet. But before we go too far ahead, guys, it's time for us to put this up there so it can cure for the next 5 days. That one's got 4 days, that one's got 5. And those 3 right there that we made the other day, they are good to go. And to be absolutely honest with you, I don't know how or what they're going to smell like. They might smell good, or just like a standard candle, or they might smell like crap. I don't know. But either way, guys, I am, as you would say, going to put the camera up as always. So that does mean it is an evidentiary for now, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching as always, and I hope you guys have a great weekend, or had a great weekend. Until the next one, as always, guys, keep it cheesy.